The marble corridors of Buckingham Palace have weathered centuries of whispers, but the ones echoing now are colder than any draught off the Thames. They speak of a prince who has turned his bloodline into a blade, and of a king, ailing, aging, isolated, who feels that blade pressing closer to his throat with every passing night. Prince Harry is no longer simply estranged. He has become the monarchy's most dangerous adversary, not because he sits on a distant throne, but because he carries its deepest shadows in his back pocket. And now, after Meghan Markle's latest spectacular failure, the implosion of her high-stakes documentary that was meant to reforge their relevance, Harry has decided it is time to unsheath his most lethal weapon, the shadow files. These files, according to sources with chilling access, are a collection of letters, voice recordings, and digital archives that Harry began assembling years ago, long before the Oprah interview, before Spare, before Montecito. What began as a private record of slights and betrayals has metastasized into something more, a doomsday vault that could fracture the monarchy's foundation. For weeks, the world has speculated about what Harry holds. Now, fragments of it are beginning to leak, not by accident, but as part of a carefully orchestrated squeeze. Among the documents allegedly in Harry's possession is a sealed letter from Princess Diana to a close confidant, written months before her fatal Paris crash. In it, Diana reportedly names senior palace figures she believed were actively isolating her sons to mold them into tools of the firm. The letter, if genuine, would reignite conspiracy theories long buried by official narratives. Then there are the emails between Meghan and a senior aide to Charles, exchanged during the height of their Sussexit turmoil. One message, described by a source who claims to have read it, contains a chilling line: "If certain comments were ever made public, the monarchy would not recover in our lifetime." The aide begged Meghan to handle matters with discretion for the sake of the crown. Meghan's alleged reply, "That depends entirely on how we are treated." And the most explosive piece? A 15-minute audio recording from a private meeting at Sandringham, just weeks before Queen Elizabeth's passing. In the tape, as described by two separate insiders, a senior royal, whose name remains under wraps, can be heard questioning the optics of Archie's and Lilibet's lineage in language that, if released, would trigger an international scandal of racial bias within the House of Windsor. This is the powder keg Harry now wields. His demand is no longer a plea for reconciliation. It is a ransom note dressed in royal stationery: restore our standing, reinstate our protection, publicly absolve Meghan, or the shadow files see daylight. King Charles, meanwhile, is a man unraveling behind gilded doors. His health, already a matter of hushed speculation, has suffered under the weight of this private siege. Sleepless, gaunt, and described by one aide as haunted by his own blood, the king is said to spend nights pacing the long halls of Clarence House, rereading old letters from Diana and wondering where the boy he once carried on his shoulders has gone. Prince William is incandescent. "This isn't family anymore," he allegedly told his father in a midnight call. "This is blackmail, and the Crown doesn't negotiate with blackmailers. But even he knows the stakes. If the shadow files are real, and all evidence suggests they are, they could not only destroy Charles's reign but also taint the future he has spent his life preparing for." Meanwhile, Meghan watches from California, her hands invisible but her influence everywhere. Those close to the couple say she has urged Harry to play the card slowly, piece by piece, to maximize pressure and force the monarchy to capitulate before the world sees the full trove. The first move may already have been made. Earlier this week, a cryptic email was leaked to an international journalist known for sympathetic coverage of the Sussexes. It referenced a sealed envelope marked with the royal cipher that allegedly contains a handwritten confession from a late senior royal regarding Diana's final months. The journalist, when contacted, refused to confirm or deny its authenticity, saying only, "If the world knew what I have in my inbox, Buckingham would burn." The palace, for its part, has gone to ground. Official statements insist that communications between His Majesty and his son remain private and cordial, but insiders whisper of lockdown protocols, legal teams on standby, and contingency plans ranging from covert settlement talks to the full severing of ties with the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. Yet severing ties may be the very spark that lights the fuse. Those who know Harry best say his resentment has reached a point of no return. He believes he has nothing left to lose, one former royal staffer said. He sees the monarchy as having already tried to erase him, so now he's rewriting the ending. Public opinion swings wildly. Some hail Harry as a truth-teller armed with the receipts to expose decades of hypocrisy. Others condemn him as a vengeful opportunist using his mother's ghost as currency. But no one, friend or foe, denies the scale of the threat he now poses. The crisis is accelerating. Courtiers speak in whispers of a possible emergency summit in Balmoral, where Charles might attempt a last-ditch face-to-face with his son under strict secrecy. The terms? Silence in exchange for a reconsideration of their royal status. But William is said to be preparing his own counter-move, a public statement that would frame Harry as a man trading legacy for leverage. And so, the monarchy teeters. Behind the lace curtains and the polished brass, a war of blood and secrets is being waged. One side holds the crown. The other holds the matchbox. Between them lies a legacy spanning 1,000 years. As dawn breaks over London, one fact has become terrifyingly clear: this is not a story of reconciliation waiting to happen. This is a hostage situation. And Harry, armed with his mother's final whispers, his wife's fury, and his own years of bitter exile, is no longer knocking at the door. He is at the gate with a torch. The shadow files are real. They may not yet be public, but their existence has already altered the course of the monarchy. And somewhere, deep in the bowels of the palace, a king wonders if the cost of protecting his crown will be the sacrifice of his son, or the collapse of it all.